Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I am back with yet another episode of my Inspired Talk series, and in this conversation, I suggest you get your popcorns ready because this is going to be a very in-depth, very informative session. I am going to speak to a very seasoned professional who has had over 35 years of work experience, and he is going to share with us his secrets of how he rose from a very humble background to as high as the office managing partner of one of the Big 4 organizations in India. He is going to share his story, his journey, his secrets to success, and what do today's professionals need in them in order to succeed in their careers, to succeed in their lives. This is going to be an inspirational session where I have put some incredible questions to him, to which he has given some very straightforward and amazing answers. Definitely going to help a lot of freshers and you young students who are listening to this conversation. Let's get started without any further ado. I will look forward for all your comments, your reactions, and of course, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel for such amazing content. Now let's get the conversation started. Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing really well. I know it's been a real long time since we have had a session, a video on Inspired Talks, and that is why, to compensate, what I am doing this time is I am having my first ever in-person, face-to-face Inspired Talk video, and I'm very excited to introduce the guest of today's show, and that is Mr. Kali Prasad. Now, Mr. Kali Prasad, or as we popularly call him, Kali Sir, he has been the office managing partner of EY Hyderabad until very recently, and as of now, he has acquired a new passion of mentoring, supporting, helping students, and by the virtue of which he also now has his own college where he has taken up the task to help a lot of students turn into successful professionals. Thank you so much, Kali sir, for your valuable time and agreeing to do this show with us.
Thank you for having me here, Arihant. Thank you very much.
Sir, so what we generally do is, even in this conversation, we will have a few questions on your early life and then your professional career, and then we will also take a few questions that some of our YouTube students and YouTube followers have asked, so that they are able to get the exact guidance that they are looking for. So sir, we're very eager. Of course, I know a little bit of sir's story already, but I'm very eager for you to share the story with the entire world. That how did you start off your educational career from your humble beginnings, and what was your education span like?
Thank you. So let me take you through my initial days. I come from a very humble farmer kind of a family, and parents are not literate, but we had reasonable means, though never suffered for anything. But in terms of education, I went to a remote, a village in a government school, and failed in 10th, and again failed in intermediate, and then I joined BCom in Guntur. This college called TJPS College in Guntur. But that's when I think I discovered myself, and what I met myself. And I realized that if I have to be somebody in life, and I need to look at myself, and need to look at the environment, and look at where and how I can be an important person in this world. I started searching for it. Then I started focusing on. I did reasonably well in the BCom, though it is a Telugu medium. I stood second in the class. And first class, that I didn't get any 80, 90 kind of marks, just 64% I got, but I was second in the class for that. That was the beginning of my renewed thinking about what I should do. But again, I didn't have any guidance on what I should do, what I should not do. So I did lots of things. I did MA in economics. I did that MA in economics from Venkatesh University while studying MCom after BCom. And also, I also studied PG diploma in marketing and sales management from Bhavans in Guntur. So all the three I did simultaneously: MCom, MA, and PG diploma.
Okay.
And I qualified all of them because my focus now shifted completely that I want to be somebody in life. Then I pursued civil services. Thought I would I have general knowledge. I thought maybe I will be able to succeed there. And I went to Delhi to take coaching for IAS services. And then I gave 2 attempts. In both the times I qualified in the prelims, but didn't qualify the mains. But I think my level of education, my level of knowledge was not sufficient to really meet the standards of civil services those days. Then I took a job in Delhi in a small manufacturing company, very small, and in a basement it is working, which was manufacturing self-adhesive labels. So there I was the executive assistant to the MD. So he wanted me to look at their entire inventory and how do you control. He felt there are a lot of leakages in this, all those things. When I was doing all of that, I didn't know, I didn't have the knowledge. MCOM and MA we did, but the subject knowledge I didn't have anything. So I was looking to do some course. Then I discovered this Delhi University launched first time again PG diploma in internal audit and management control system. So that I thought it is management control system I was looking for it. Then I joined I applied for it and I somehow got admission to that. While I was studying that, that's a part-time evening course. While studying that, the president of the Institute of Internal Auditors at that time, one guy called Mr. Sudhir Verma, he came and made a presentation to the students of a degree called CIA, the Certified Internal Auditor. That degree said, you guys can pursue this. This degree is recognized all over the world, and you can write examination from Delhi itself, and you will get the global certification. Like you are like anybody else in the world. I thought this is the best thing that can happen because I didn't have any professional degree. So I thought I will definitely have it. So I pursued. Of all the 20 people in the batch of the Delhi University, I was the only guy who really pursued it. In 2 attempts, I cleared.
Okay.
That was in 1988.
Okay.
So that is when I shifted from this small company to a professional company. Because if you have to really understand the subject, internal auditing, then I had to do those kind of things in a larger setup. So this is a medium-sized company, and which in those days had separate department doing only internal audits. So I joined just before, in 87 itself, just before the qualification. After my first attempt, I didn't clear. I realized that maybe I don't have the practical experience of how you do internal audits. Then I shifted here and then started understanding that, and second attempt I cleared. That is when I decided, my first another realization again, that if I have to be somebody in life again, I have to take one profession and stick to that, and I have to be the best in that. That second realization came, and I joined the company at the age of 27, and I was working under the CA interns who are 20-21 years old. They come from a good background, bright students, and they come and do the CA. I didn't know anything about it. So I learned from all these guys with all humble, this because I had to learn. I didn't know subject. But in 2.5 years' time, I was declared as the best manager in the firm.
Wow.
I worked very hard and I wanted to prove. And I was a little embarrassing, I am 27, 28 years old, these guys are just 21. How long can you, keep on doing that? You have to work hard to, really do better than them. I did that, and then I again shifted to another firm in 1993. And where again I headed I started again for them, head of the internal audit practice. So that I worked there from 1993 to almost like 1995. That is when, while doing all of this, to become successful in a profession, it is not only your technical knowledge, but also your potential recruiters or potential customers should know who you are, what you are capable of. How do you make them know? So then I started becoming very active with the Institute of Internal Auditor Delhi chapter. So I became honorary secretary to the chapter, and then I used to organize lots of workshops, seminars on internal auditing. So most of the people who are the heads of internal audits in this, in those days, of all the big companies, they used to come and attend, including Big 4 guys. They used to come and meet me also. So then I made myself known in the market that Kali Prasad is somebody associated with the internal auditing field. So that helped me. With that, through somebody's reference help, I applied to EY. And the chairman at the time, Mr. Kashim Memani, called me and he interviewed me, and then he liked my, I was a little timid guy, but likable guy. He saw sincerity in me. He didn't look at my biodata. If he really looked at my biodata, he wouldn't have taken me, because I don't meet the standards of EY.
Right.
My schooling and all these things are very, very, minus. Luckily, he gave me the offer. But the challenge I faced was, in fact, me and today's CEO of EY, we went together to pursue costing manual for IIM Lucknow.
Okay.
Way back in '95.
Okay.
And we won the job also.
Okay.
Then I was almost like, joining them. I was serving notice period. This period itself, we went there. Then my previous boss, he's also a very good guy. So we were working together. He gave me whatever I wanted. In fact, he gave me more than what I wanted in my previous organization. I had a lot of respect for him. He called me and said that before I accepted EY's offer, I told him, I said, okay, go. I think it's good for you. You can go. That's the best opportunity you can think for you. It will be good. But after I accepted the offer, he called back and said, there is this opportunity. We were pursuing together. At that time, we were not getting it. Now we got the opportunity.
Okay.
If you go away, all my efforts will be waste. I decided, existing employer is more important than the future employer. And I went and met my Big4, the CEO. Told him this. He didn't like it. How can you refuse, a job like this? But I am a little bit of values, driven person. So I don't want to have any sleepless night that I didn't really, take care of my previous employer. I was getting 8,000 here, and then I was getting 32,000 rupees there.
Oh.
In those days, I was nothing. 4-fold jump.
Yeah.
Money can
Drastic jump.
But still, I was. I said, okay.
You decided to stay back.
But again, because this firm couldn't afford, but he made my salary about 15,000 rupees after I took the decision. So at least some compensation. But we did that. We both of us worked very hard and tried to make the practice successful. But somehow in those days, the Big4 wave was very, very high. So we couldn't really succeed. After 1.5 years again, we approached. But he was also very, I think, I'm grateful to him. He didn't keep that in his heart. He said, okay, come back. But he said, the only thing, punishment I will give you, I'll give you the same salary.
32,000 or 15,000?
No, 32,000.
32,000.
What
Okay.
was there 1.5 years ago.
1.5 years ago.
Oh.
Okay.
I could have easily got about 45,000 because the salaries have increased. But he said, you have to come. You have to bear this.
Okay.
I said, okay, no problem. It's still better.
It's still better. Correct. Yeah.
So I joined, and then we started this. That's a basic, entering into one of the Big4 firms. That is for a guy who had no background, getting and landing up in a firm like Big4.
Yeah, no,
it didn't happen at all, at least not in my known circles. I don't know anyone who has been able to come that kind of place and join this.
No, so I think this very introduction itself is very inspiring, that it's a roller coaster ride in education, that you failed a couple of times, but very interestingly you discovered yourself in your BCom days and you started working hard, focusing, networking, because I think the biggest problem that students today face is this whole question of discovering ourselves, whether we don't know what we need to do. We try to do 10 things, not even good at one single thing, give up too fast, feel, especially your incident where you said that 21-year-old articles and you are 27-year-old, and without any embarrassment or without any, challenges, you were working with them because you wanted to learn and you wanted to develop. So I think that is a very big lesson for all of us, in fact, that patience, virtue, and of course then being so honest or being so aligned to your current boss and ensuring that you are repaying whatever opportunities you have got. So no, that's a very good introduction, and thank you so much for sharing your story, sir. So now let's move to the second part of the story, which I think will be very interesting for a lot of our viewers, the Big 4 journey. So you joined Big 4 after all the ups and downs, and I mean, getting into Big 4s, as you said, itself is a very big deal even now. Back then I can't even imagine how difficult it was. But then please take us through your Big 4 journey, because from then, I think the late 90s, till you retired a couple of years ago, you were with the same Big 4 organization. So can you very briefly tell us your journey in those last 23 years that you have had?
Yeah, I think before I start with this Big 4, I want to go back. So in 88 when I qualified, I mentioned that I took a call that I want to stick to one profession and I want to be the best in that. So while the internal audit per se is not a very exciting career, a lot of people don't think, a lot of people want to pursue, either the audit, statutory audit or CFO role or some other, investment banking role, fund, the hedge fund role, all these kind of people see it, management consultant roles. But internal audit is not a very glamorous position. But what I decided, given my background, given my, whatever is there, I have to focus on one thing and I have to be the best in that. It doesn't matter which profession you choose. If you are best in the profession, you will succeed. I stuck to that. A lot of my, people who are in the same firm, they were going out, getting jobs in MNCs, even while I was in the small firms. And I didn't go. In my own boss, who really helped me through my career, he went out and started his own investment banking firm. He asked me to join. I said no. I want to stick to this field. I want to be best in that. So that paid me, so that helped me to become, at least a known person in the market. So therefore, the Big 4 also took me. There also, again, I started the practice. And then we are one of the best in the market there. I built the practice for Hyderabad, Delhi. And then I became the national head for internal audit services.
Okay.
And then I also started the healthcare practice in 2002-3. I actually recruited medical doctors who have done MBA and ISB.
Okay.
And then I started the healthcare practice. We did a big survey. We became nationally known. In 3-4 years' time, we are already known in the country as one of the leading firms for healthcare consulting. When you say healthcare, hospitals, etc. And we are competing with other big global strategy firms.
Okay.
I built the practice, and then I had great guys as colleagues who are now taking it up, and they are now doing very well there also. And in 2008, I got opportunity to become the office managing partner for Hyderabad. Then I took that. So then I came to Hyderabad, spent the rest of my career in Hyderabad, building that practice in Hyderabad. So there are 2-3 things here. One is when I am growing, why that long? As long as I am growing, I am becoming better within the organization. Though sometimes I could have I was made partner in 1st April 2004. Maybe I could have been done maybe in 2-3 years before also. But I was not made, though I was, my colleagues, some other people are made. I was not happy. I fought with management, but I still felt this is an organization, is a meritorious organization. There is no bias there. Okay? Maybe there were some things I was not doing as good as other guys are doing. So they got opportunity, I didn't get it. So I worked on that, improved myself, and then I was there. So when in 2 years, they made me also as a partner. So all opportunities when you are getting, as long as you are growing, why do you need to change a firm? If you see the CEOs, Rajiv Memani of EY is one of the best professional services CEO in my knowledge. Maybe he is one of the best in the world as well. He never changed employment. From the day he joined till he's there, he was CEO. And if you ask any Big 4 guy, any Big 4 partner in India, you ask him, who is the best CEO of a Big 4 firm, I can tell you, the guys from other firms will say Rajiv Memani is the best guy. He never changed job. There are many other guys who never changed the jobs. They became CEOs globally also. So you don't need to change for the sake of changing it. But sometimes every 2 to 3 years you should watch about yourself. Are you learning? Are you becoming better? Are you growing? If the growth is coming within the organization, you are becoming better. Then automatically you don't have to change it. But if you see that you are doing very well, but somehow there is so much that you are not getting what you wanted. So that is the problem. Everybody has it. But you need to objectively evaluate. I am not getting, is it because I am not doing certain things, right? Or is it because something else? Because I can assure you, in most of the MNCs, there will be no bias. They go by the merit. Maybe a 5-10% human judgment you can't, completely eliminate. 5-10% over. That 10% is very, you can't, that you can't, eliminate anywhere in the world.
Correct.
Wherever you go, that will be there.
True.
But 90%, they're all merit organizations. And when you grow, sometime what happens, if you're a big firm, there are so many people who are equally good. The leader has to make a choice out of these people, who they want to promote, because they can't promote everybody. So your turn might come 1 or 2 years, plus minus. But you need to see that, am I growing or not? Not just only financially. Financially is a secondary matter. As a person, as a professional, am I growing? That's the most critical point. If that is growing, then you don't need to change. I never felt that I need to go out because when I didn't get maybe promotion, or didn't get maybe adequate compensation, or I didn't get my partnership. The thought came to me that why don't I approach somebody else, which normally does, a lot of people do it. But I said, even they would look at the same criteria. So today they may give me a partnership, but how will I grow after partnership? I have to change myself. There is something wrong. That's why this firm is not recognizing me. I have to change myself. That's why I looked at it. That I never felt that I need to go. I have to change myself. I changed and I became a better person. I got opportunities. That's why throughout the life I stayed there itself. Even after retirement, other firms approached me saying that if you are interested in, we'll give you a few more years, help us do all these things. But I said once, at least in this market, I am almost like known as EY Hyderabad. And I sold my great colleagues, excellent partners in this place. Tomorrow the same clients, how will I go and say that EY guys are not good, this guy is this one better? You can't do that, no? Where is your credibility in that case?
True.
So I remained as
single.
Even today also a lot of clients call me and they still think I am part of
the
EY.
Okay.
And luckily that all these guys who are there, they have very high regard for me. And they also, whenever they need any help, they call me. If I need any help, I'll call them also. And they'll give all respect and they do that also. So I'm able to maintain the relationship. That is more important than earning a few bucks. That's God has given enough for me. So from where I came, I have enough money, so I don't need that. But I want the respect and credibility.
So I think that also is an important lesson for all our listeners, for all our viewers, because I was, I did a post in my YouTube channel on some questions that students would like to ask you or professionals, freshers would like to ask you. And this is the question that few of them ask, that how often should we switch our organization? Because nowadays, because there's so many options also, and just for a few thousand or maybe a few lakh rupees, we are ready to change and, for the growth also. But I think this also is an extremely important lesson, that at the end of the day, if you are growing personally and both financially as well as, of course, in your knowledge and in your work, then why? If everything is fine, then why change? You can always keep progressing. But sir, now the truth and the fact of the matter is that working in a Big 4 organization is very challenging in terms of work-life balances, the late nights and the effort that you have to put. And a lot of students today actually fear that if we get into Big 4s, then we will have this stressful time. You, 23 years in a Big 4, setting up practices from ground, bringing it to the top. Have you never felt the stress, and how did you manage your work-life balance?
So, as one of our partners in EY long time ago mentioned in one of the conferences, when he asked the same question, He said, you keep working, life automatically gets balanced.
Okay.
So if you like what you're doing, then it is not stressful. Because if somehow you feel this is a drudgery, I have to somehow finish this and go. I have to enjoy my life somewhere else. Then it's always a struggle. But if you want to really become a successful professional, you need to have the dedication.
So you're saying both things can't.
Yeah. So working 12 hours a day is not a stress for me, and a lot of people actually. Because the main reason why you work hard, and in fact, I'll tell you my experience. Saturdays, I used to go to office, and I used to notice a lot of people coming and working there. I used to know these guys. I used to call their partners. Why your guys are coming on a Saturday and working? They used to say, sir, we never asked them to come. They are coming on their own and they are working there. I don't know. So, and there is no actually expectation from generally the culture that you have to work hard, work beyond office hours, or Saturdays, Sundays, etc. But what happens if you want to really grow? If you want to be better than other persons, you have to work hard. So a lot of these people who work in this Big 4 are very ambitious. They want to grow. They want to be very successful. And they don't have patience that I will wait for my turn to come, etc. They want to work hard, they want to prove hard. It's a positive thing. So they work hard and they learn and they demand that I want a promotion. They'll prove that. Tell me that why am I not capable of being promoted? So that's how they pursue and they don't mind doing that. But they take vacations and they have a lot of fun, etc. I don't think work is challenging there because there's nothing that you're not doing anything which you're not supposed to do.
I think it's also about the productivity then. That if you're 12 hours in the office and you're half the time you're not productive, then
because sometimes you don't know the subject. Because that happens in the consulting environment. Each time you do you may be doing a different subject, different industry, each project is different. So while learning that, sometimes you have to put additional hours to understand that. But that's once you get used to this, it's not a stress.
It's not a stress.
Maybe a few times, one big project you're doing, it's a huge project, very important. You have to meet deadlines. But that happens once in a while, not all the time. I've never seen my almost like Big 4 itself 23 years in EY. Before that I had another 12 years in small firms also where I worked also. We used to work hard. But never people complain that I'm leaving the job because I don't want to work this long hours. All of them wanted to grow and I want to shorten the cycle.
On a lighter note, sir, just now then you mentioned your years of experience. I realized your work experience is more than my age. So that is the kind of learning all of you are getting on this conversation. So I hope you guys are liking it so far. If you are, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And let's continue with another important question from a student's point of view today, or from a fresher's point of view. If you are interviewing a candidate today, in addition to, of course, the technical skill set or an academic background, what are those 3 or 4 other skills that you are trying to get into a success so that a professional can become a successful professional?
See, today, I don't think Big 4 look at these things differently than any good MNC. When they are hiring the people, they have the same frame generally. So what is most critical is that your success in any endeavor can be attributable to maybe we can say more than 70% of your success in any endeavor that you take up is attributable to your personal qualities, your personality. 30% is your technical knowledge. Okay. You meet any successful lawyer, any great architect, any great professional. If you go and meet them, you can understand. Subject is good. There are many other people also very good. But the major differentiation between these two is the personality. So that's what we will also look for it. So you need to have your personal skills, your communication skills, your ability to express yourself, your executive presence, your attitude, your thought processes. This is what they look for in addition to your technical knowledge. And that is critical for you to be successful in life. Even if you don't pursue a particular, Big 4 working, you go to any other MNC, anywhere. If you want to grow, you need to build your personal qualities.
Yeah, that is one clear thing I also keep telling students and my listeners on my YouTube channel, that technical knowledge can be built over a period of time, but personality is something that you need to build every single day. You can't Google personality and get it. You have to build it. So you have heard it from sir as well, that it's your skills also that matter a lot, especially for a lot of chartered accountancy students. We are so focused on work and learning technical skills that somewhere our personal skills take a backseat. That becomes a definitive challenge.
Yeah.
So now the next question is, there are so many changes that are happening in the business world. What I studied 8 or 10 years ago is not relevant anymore. The standards have changed, the technology has come in so fast that most of it or a lot of it is now irrelevant what I have studied. Similarly, students who are studying now, they will go through the same thing 10 years later. How does a fresher or how does a young professional keep themselves up to date of what is happening in the business world, and how do they stay relevant?
So my understanding, based on my experience, and also currently I'm doing a lot of this education related work, is that the current development is in 3 dimensions. One is you need to be good in a subject. There's no second thought about it. You have to be good in your subject, whatever subject you're doing it. Be it industry knowledge or technical knowledge, anything, that you have to be good in that. Other thing is also that today no business is working without technology. All businesses are operating in a technology environment. Your ERPs, your network, infrastructure, digital, AI, anything at all technology. In addition to your subject knowledge, you need to understand the underlying technologies on which these businesses are operating. That's very, very critical for everybody. And third, as I just mentioned, is your personality. This knowledge alone is not enough. You need to build your personality. If you focus on these 3, then you can keep. Because nowadays information is accessible, knowledge is accessible. It's no more difficult. In the past, it used to be very, very difficult to get very good education, getting good, any access to any big, university or course. It's to be very, very tough. But today, with a lot of online sources available, you can get any kind of knowledge. It's easily accessible to you. That is no more differentiator for you. But what is important is your continuous learning. You have to keep updating it in all fields, be it new technology that is being implemented by companies, or digital, AI, all these nowadays, all the blockchain, particularly if you're an accounting profession, you need to understand entire blockchain technology, how it is actually shaping the entire accounting industry.
Correct.
Okay, that you need to study. Even if you are not doing today about that particular subject you're not dealing with, but you must understand. You should go and do a course on blockchain technology. But that's the future. Whenever you go there, in any company you go there, if they are implementing all is related to the blockchain, you should be aware of that.
Correct.
And it is not difficult. Like some people may be thinking, I have studied, BCom, I have done accountancy, this is a complete technology. You don't need to bother about it all. You go to any of these MOOCs like Coursera and everything. They have beginner courses. This is, you don't have to have any background to learn that. Within 6 months you can master it. You don't need 10 years to master it. Because this is not difficult to master. So these are all easy. But you need to take that initiative and go and learn that. You have to be up to date with that. That is very, very critical.
Yeah, so then it's also about self-interest. It's always not now going to be in classroom. You have to take that interest. Information technology changes are happening. They are available. So you can go, you can learn, and you can upgrade yourself, and you can stay relevant.
Absolutely.
As simple as that. Sir, you have gone through your set of failures, not just in your personal life or not just in your educational life, but even in your professional life. Maybe you have had ups and downs. How do you keep yourself motivated, sir? Or what is your mantra for motivation? Because a lot of students who are pursuing chartered accountancy will fail. They will fail multiple times. How do they come back, especially in this competitive world where you start feeling that, oh, I have been left out because somebody has gone ahead of me?
the comparison with others is bad thing. You should not have that. That's if you start comparing yourself with others lifelong, you'll only have misery. The reason being, suppose you're driving a car, okay, and when you look at your windshield, okay, there are a lot of people going ahead of you, okay, and just see behind on your rear view mirror, okay, and there are a lot of people behind you.
Also.
But the point here is, irrespective of the speed at which you drive, this situation will not change. You get the point?
Yeah.
Whether driving at 60 kilometers or 120 kilometers or 180 kilometers, there will always be people ahead of you.
Correct.
There will always be people behind you.
Correct.
Okay? So this is not the game you can win. But what is important is, the way I have worked in my life, is that I am never happy with my status quo, whatever I am. I always think I can be better. I keep improving myself. Which even today, I am 63, just now I turned. But I still believe there's a lot in me I need to discover. I need to accomplish. So I keep pushing myself to do better. That doesn't give me any stress. It give me a little bit of, in a way, make it a stressful joy. You are discovering yourself. As you are growing, you start seeing the world differently. Okay? So at every level where failures will come, common, because you are expecting that with this effort, I should get this. Or you may be thinking, that fellow, with this effort, he got that much.
Exactly.
Why don't I get it?
Yeah.
Okay? His reality you don't know exactly. You only know what you have read about him, whatever he has told you. Actually, you never know. In your case also, your assessment may not be correct. The failure mainly happens because your preparation is not adequate. Okay, the world is not against you. The world is always trying to help you. Only thing you need to see, whenever you see a failure, you didn't qualify. You say, why did I not qualify? What was lacking in me? So you analyze and remove those defects and try again. It will come. You are never a failure until you give up.
Yeah.
There's always a challenge. There's always an opportunity to grow. I'm not just making any cliched statements. I have seen in my life, not only me, I have seen many people. I have come across lots of people. They have seen huge success in life. And it is not that they have succeeded every step. They always faced failures. They always, I know. And another thing I want to tell you also, I have seen lots of great guys in the CA field. The last 40 years I've been interacting with them. Though I'm not a CA, but I've been working with them, interacting with them, and very bright people and very not so bright people. And I've seen that many very good guys, they somehow are not able to complete the CA. But they're extremely good in work. They're extremely good in practice. But CA is an examination, because you need to have certain amount of preparation in a particular way, and that you have to reproduce that in those 3 hours or 2.5 hours when the examination is held in a particular way. So that sometimes is not the quality some people have it.
Right.
They know the subject. They can do very well. But at the time of examination, somehow they are not able to do that.
Absolutely.
I have seen my own very close friend's son, who's taken almost 7 or 8 attempts to qualify. But he's one of the best tax guy.
Okay.
And good, extremely good in tax structuring. Very successful. And he advises. He advises actually transaction, which is almost like $2 billion transaction, which was one about 3 years. He's been extremely involved there at a senior level, talking to the CEO or the promoter who's selling the company, and other buyers, the buyers team. He was the main interaction, etc. And he would be better than many, even the toppers CA. But he can't qualify as CA. A lot of people are there. So if that is the reason why you have not really been able to qualify, you need to analyze. I discovered 3 things in life very early when I was doing all this qualification. There are 3 things important. 3 I's actually. Interest, industry, and intelligence. To be academic success, you need to have these three. First and foremost, you need to have a great interest in the subject that you're pursuing. If you don't have much interest, no, each time you sit there, start open the chapter, you get so bored, you feel so sleepy.
Yes.
You just can't, grasp it. That interest, you should build that first. Then you have to put some systematic hard work, not sporadically. No, 1 week you studied very well, and then the next week again you don't do that. That doesn't work. In academic success particularly, that systematically, in structured manner, work hard and complete that. And third is that intelligence. Because though you may be studying everything, but you don't know how to grasp it. You should know how to remember these things. You should know what is counsel, how to do that. So first and foremost, interest is most critical. The number one in that line. Second is industry and hard work. Third is intelligence. So even with little average intelligence, you can still do very well. You may be a bright guy, but if you don't have those two, you won't be able to succeed. So these three I's, if you are able to do that, you can easily manage the academic, life, academic qualification. You can get it.
That's great. That's great. I think it's a simple formula. I think people overthink about it, but if we keep it simple, then it should be as simple as what you have mentioned. Of course, practicing it is important on a day-to-day basis, but then that is what it is. And now, many CS students are watching this conversation. Unfortunately, many of them will not clear chartered accountancy course because we all know the pass percentages and the challenges. Is there any other way where semi-qualified chartered accountants, or say not at all, somebody who's pursuing chartered accountancy course can still make it to Big Fours? What are the certification or any courses, or since you are in this, you have forayed into this education background now, do you plan to bring in anything which can actually help students, become better professionals and get into these highly, wanted organizations?
Yeah. I think people who have started the pursuit of CA, they should definitely make a very sincere attempt. And their most, I think, important quality of a CA, as opposed to a MBA finance or somebody else, is this internship, articleship, in which he does actual work and learns. So he's always treated as a better professional than an MBA finance, okay? Because of his practical experience. Okay, that experience you get it. But somehow you're not able to clear the CA. But that should not, really, disappoint you or, discourage you to be, pursuing a great success in life. And you need to analyze objectively. Why am I not able to clear that? It's not a rocket science at all. Okay, I've seen lots of people who have just cleared in 1 or 2 attempts. It's not as great. But that academic way of looking at, way of answering the questions, that preparation is important. How do you prepare for yourself? And if you are focused mostly on the practical knowledge, sometimes that doesn't help. And you can't change the way that CA examination is being conducted. But you can change yourself to see whether you can do that. If you're finding it difficult, then look at, there are so many other opportunities available in the market. Okay, one is that like other courses are there globally. ACCA, AACP, they're all, I think, you can do from here itself. And in addition to that, if you are very, very keen on accounting as a profession as such, other courses like CIA, CISA, the CIA Certified Internal Auditor, CISA Certified Information Systems Auditor, CFE Certified Fraud Examiner, all these courses are open for you. You can do all these courses, which are not as difficult, much easier than CA, but they have equal reputation, weight across the globe, all MNCs. Only limitation would be you can't practice as a auditor. You can't, for some regulated services, statutory audit or even some tax advice, some of these places you can't do. But rest, everything can be done with other qualifications. That is one route. The second route is that today there is so many other opportunities available for CA professionals. And I think a few things, like particularly I believe that technology I've seen lots of chartered accountants have mastered the cyber security, IT general controls. It's a great field, and I know lots of them who are doing extremely well. They're basically chartered accountants. Okay, and that's a great profession. And there are a lot of degrees you can pursue. And from ETHM's college, my college, the next 3 to 4 months, we are launching a course particularly focused on making you one of the best in IT general controls and cyber security. Like IT security, risk and compliance.
Okay.
Is one big area. That's what the whole world is, We're going towards technology.
Correct.
So that course, you can do it in about 12 to 15 months.
Okay.
We built a syllabus. We are working with the very top professionals. We are finalizing the syllabus, and we launch in next 2-3 months that course.
Okay.
And my confidence is, if somebody pursues that, there is so much demand. I can almost guarantee the job for these guys.
Okay.
Because the syllabus will be prepared by the Big 4 professionals, taught by the Big 4 professionals.
Oh. Okay.
And we are ensuring that these people are understanding it, and they are writing examinations, and then they are qualifying it, and they themselves may pick up while these guys are working in a lot of demand. Actually, cyber security is a huge demand in the market, but technology side. So that is one course we are doing. There are many other such courses, like even the GR general. If you are not a techie, but still want to do the internal audit, risk management, internal controls, SOX, these areas. So we are also trying to come up with one course on GRC.
Okay.
This is governance, risk and compliance. That's again this GRC also one course we are coming up with, which is much more easier than even technology. If you are not a techie person, you want to be on this side of this accounting, management, controls, compliance side. So this course also we are right to come up with. Again, 1 year course. My model is that I would like to bring what the Big 4 is looking for, and then what CAs are not able to accomplish to complete that. So those people actually can do this course, and we will do this part time. We are not asking them to do full time.
Full time. Okay.
Yeah, part time will do that, because the teaching also will be done by professionals. So they'll come and do the teaching, etc. And these people can also have their own jobs, and they can pursue it. Once they complete, and I'm sure that they'll get the jobs in the Big 4, or not only Big 4, you have the, like even Accenture, the huge practice on risk and compliance.
Okay.
Other companies are like Protivity is there, Grant Thornton is there, BDO is there, Alliant Group are there. There are so many people are there. In addition to that, all the big MNCs like Novartis, Amazon, UHG, there are so many companies are there. They have a lot of these internal divisions which are focusing on internal controls and the risk management, etc. There are so many opportunities in this market. So I'm looking at what they want and how can I make these people, prepare them to get the jobs there. We are just working on that. I think in a few months you'll see that these are happening. So you don't have to get discouraged if they are not able to complete, and they should not feel that they don't have the competency. You have the competency. It's just a matter of not being able to follow one qualification.
So that shouldn't become the life. That shouldn't. No, this is in fact a very good thing that you have informed, sir, that you are trying to curate a course specifically designed for the Big 4s, and maybe even Big 4 professionals or experienced professionals will teach. And the fact that sir mentions that almost guarantees a job, I'll be waiting eagerly for such a course to come in, sir, so that I can communicate it to my students or to my followers, because I get this question so many times that we're just not able to do CA, we don't want to drag it anymore, but then we don't have a fallback. This could be one of the fallbacks. So I'll eagerly wait for this, sir. Thank you so much for that. Sir, if you have to give a piece of advice to yourself, but the 30 years before, what will you give? What you could have done differently, and something that today's students can maybe incorporate out of your experience?
Yeah. So what I have realized after so much of time, that I have reached whatever hill I'm not saying great hill, but whatever hill I reached, but going around and around and around, I reached there. But I see there is a path, you can go straight to reach the top. So that path, if I were 30 years ago, if I had this knowledge, this much awareness, and that's why I didn't have that awareness, I would focus on one thing.
Focus on
Very extremely narrowed, one focus, one subject. And then I master it. I should be the best in whatever I do. Okay, then I can
it's
stop.
faster path. It's very simple, but
Yeah.
it's very difficult also.
Yeah.
Especially in times like this, where there are so many options.
I've seen in my career lots of students who become CAs qualified. They just biggest problem that they face after qualifying. What do I choose? Should I go for statutory audit? Should I go for tax? Should I go for this one? Or should I go for employment? Should I go for my practice? And a big challenge they face.
Yeah.
So what is important is that at that time, if you have at least somebody who could advise you that whatever, it's not an easy job, but somehow you have to take a decision. You have to make a choice. This is what I will pursue, but stick to that. There are a lot of students, a lot of youth, they commit a mistake nowadays. They keep coming to me. Sir, I have done some statutory audit work. Now I want to do some tax work. Now I want to tomorrow do internal audit work. I want to be a complete professional kind of thing. Because people are not looking for complete professionals. Because if any Big 4 is recruiting, they are recruiting either for tax, or they are recruiting either for audit, or they are recruiting for internal audit, or they
Specific service.
They are not looking for all-round person. They wanted a guy who is good in one area.
Correct.
You need to make yourself good in that particular area. So then you grow. And the sky is the limit. But if you focused on that, and it's easy to master it. You can't be a master of 10 subjects. But you can be a master of 1 or 2 subjects. And you could be the best. Once you are the best, I can assure you jobs will chase you. You don't have to change them. Opportunity will chase you. You don't have to change them. That is what my advice. I know I would have further narrowed, and I focused only on this.
That's a very valuable piece of advice, and the statement that you mentioned is so relevant that students want to do everything. Might or might not be really beneficial, but mastery in one subject, finding out what do they like and then mastering it definitely makes sense. So now maybe we'll take a couple of questions that my students have asked specifically to me to ask to you. You have become a partner in a Big 4 organization. Why not a CFO, or why not a CEO in some other industry or firm?
See, what happens mostly, it's always a personality of a person. Either he is good at doing an industry job, or is good at doing a consulting job. So consulting job requires different types of personality, and industry job requires a different type of personality. So consulting job is very client-facing job.
Correct.
Unless you are a client-facing guy, unless you are a deadline-chasing guy, unless you are a 24/7 kind of a guy, you may not be doing, but at least you should be prepared to do that. Okay, you will not really succeed in the Big 4, etc. So you need to have this kind of attitude. But a lot of people don't like that. They are very good in work. They are very capable, but they want to be like, okay, I want to be in one stable, single place. I want to be good. I am technically very good. I can manage the entire department. I can, grow there. And I want to have maybe some time for myself. So that kind of people will be there. And they don't mind taking 15-20 years to become CFO. Whereas these guys who chase this Big 4 profession, they want to be partner in 12-15 years. And there is a little glamour attached to that. Being a partner of a Big 4 firm. And then good money is there. And you do it much faster. So that's the reason why they pursue it. Since I started in the beginning itself, my journey in the professional services firm, I continued. A lot of people actually, after becoming a partner, they will leave and go and become CFOs in companies.
Okay.
Lots of them.
Okay.
People do. If they think this is a little bit of too much. This is a business. Once you're a partner, you have to be responsible for change targets. All these things will be there. But that is not a business.
So
That is
being a
job.
partner is almost like a CEO only.
Yeah.
You have your own targets and you have to
Yeah.
accomplish
Yeah,
goals.
several things. So that's not a that job is little. No, it's a big industry. You're a CFO. Responsibilities, your ability to become CEO is not anywhere less.
Yeah.
But it's not a business. So that's the reason why some people pursue that. And some people pursue this.
So it's the
There's nothing that
interest.
what is good, what is that. There's nothing like this. It's all depends on your nature.
So it's person to person, and who
Yeah.
gets a kick out of what attributes you mentioned, they go for being a consultant and all the way up to a partner, and they enjoy over there. So sir, one final question to you. Within Big 4 organization also, yes, many people aspire to be say 12 years, 15 years partners, but it's not easy, especially where you have thousands of professionals to compete with and only a few partnership positions to grab. What has been your key success factor, and what are those attributes which young professionals today should keep in mind to succeed in a Big 4 like challenging and competitive environment?
Yeah. A very good question actually. I've been doing a lot of research on this for the last many years, particularly because I've seen small firms, big firm, and different environments, and I've seen a lot of people are doing very well. Some are doing very well. So there's a lot of variation in the performance, and some people are seeing very great success. Some people are not seeing that great success. They're equally competent. So all these things, I've seen myself, and I used to even mentor some of the partners or some of the directors to become partners. So all those things I used to do that. What I noticed, there are about 5 stages of growth in Big 4. Broad 5 stages. First and foremost, when you join as a fresher, initial stage, you need to establish yourself as a good Big 4 kind of a professional. Why I'm saying that is that many people when they join, they are extremely good academically, subject wise, but they somehow are not able to perform. They don't know how to apply the knowledge in the practical scenario. So many people don't succeed. They struggle there, and they're not able to perform. They're not able to come up to the expectation of those people there. That's a big challenge. So you should know how to apply the knowledge that you have gained in the practical situation. That is actually the biggest challenge for a lot of people face. That's why you need to first establish yourself that you are a good guy, consultant or associate who knows how to, given work to you, you are able to fulfill that work.
The foundation.
Given job, but you know how to do that. Second is, it's a large organization. No job, you will not do alone. Okay, you'll have people. How do you grow? That in a job, you are made a leader, or you are given 2-3 people more. Okay. Next biggest challenge I have seen a lot of people face is that they are very good in working themselves, but they cannot advise the other guy. They don't know how to teach him, how to guide him, how to make him work. And they expect these guys also to understand, you just look at it, go and do the work. Okay? And if they don't come with any kind of good quality work, he expects very good quality. So he is very good. He knows how to do very well. And he shouts at them. Otherwise, just forget about you are not capable, I will do it myself. That doesn't work. You need to know how to guide people. You need to know how to help the people to work. Okay? So that is another competence people have to develop. And believe me, it's a real problem. I have seen lots of people extremely good in the work, but they just can't work with others. They can't support others. Then you won't be able to succeed because you have to grow, you have to be a leader.
Correct.
How do you show leadership? First, guide the people there. Okay? And then make them work, make them successful. And then you need to interact with the clients. Biggest challenge is in consulting, any kind of consulting, you have to get the work done from the information from the clients. Interactions. Even you have any observations, how do you convey to them? How do you make them accept what you are recommending? All these things are important. And people can't do it. The biggest challenge. They won't learn this. Okay? So that's very, very critical. But where your communication skills, your executive presence, your client interaction, those things they need to learn. So that is again that kind of skills. There are lots of things I can go on. Maybe you need to have a separate session on this. I have done so much of research. Where these people fail within the Big Four.
Okay.
So that the second stage of showing your leadership potential. That's where you will get your first promotion to become a senior executive or a senior consultant or associate, something like in different sectors, different companies have different designations. The first promotion is you become a team leader. You can say that is it become that. From team lead, how do you become manager? That's again big challenge. You need to have 5-6 different qualities. But I am building another course. It will take a year for me to something like certified professional services manager.
Okay.
How to be successful. So that skills that you require to become a manager, and also as a good manager also. Like Harvard Business Review, there are about 16 books focused on helping the new managers. So I'm studying all those things. How you can build that into a syllabus and make a course kind of thing. The next level is the manager. Then next target for any manager is to become partner. That will take another 5, 6, 10 years to become partner from manager. Then again you need to have different kind of skills. You know how to build your own business, book a business. You know how to manage your client on your own without anybody help. All those skills again need to be there. That is the fourth level of this one, becoming a partner. But that's not the end. There are a lot of studies in the Big Four. After becoming partners, more than 20% partners are exited within 1.5 years of they become partners.
Okay.
Not that they're leaving, they're asked to leave.
Oh.
So 1/4 partners are asked to leave within 1.5 years.
Wow.
Because they are very good, and because of that they have been made partners. But what happens when you become a partner? You are facing the sun directly. Till that time you are under the shadow of a partner.
Correct.
They are very good at doing all that. The moment you are facing the sun directly, you feel that you somehow you lose confidence. Backing, nobody is covering your back. You have to be yourself.
Correct.
People don't succeed. So there also establishing the partner itself is a great quality. And then a lot of people become partners between 35 to 45. So they still have 25-30 years of career. So what after becoming partner? A lot of friends going to me, and I also had the same challenge. Of course, that's again long discussion. I had a conversation with our CEO, and I became a partner. So I don't want to get into that. That will be too long for you, but maybe not relevant for your audience also at the time. So there is a big again subject. How do you make from partner to a leader? A leader means you are a area leader, you are a solution leader, or you are a market leader,
CXO.
or you are practice leader. Okay, so how do you achieve the leadership from partnership? That is another subject. So that's my current research actually. I'm doing a lot of research in that area. So I had a lot of ideas, but now I'm trying to put it in a structured manner. So what all these people need? How do you make these people to become like that? That's what I'm working on. So this, at every level, you need to focus on what is required at this job for me, unacquired. But good thing is, good news is that this knowledge and the support is available to you. The Big 4 firms or any other big MNCs, they will give you training. They will give you the opportunity. You have to open yourself. You have to work hard to get the knowledge. So within the firm or outside the firm, also, go to Google it, this knowledge available to you. Unfortunately, people somehow don't put that effort, and they don't go to the next level.
So I think this has been an extremely comprehensive and a detailed conversation that I've had with you, sir, and I'm 100% sure that all of you who are viewing will be benefited from sir's experience and those detailed insights that have been given, because a lot of time we miss the details just because we want to understand everything fast. So I just hope all of you have been able to absorb every important detail that has been shared in this particular session, and I have learned so much from it, and definitely I'll be applying a lot of it in my own professional life, sir. But thank you so much, Kali sir, for your valuable time, your insights, and it's really motivating and exciting to see that even now at the age of 63 you're so enthusiastic to learn new things and to teach new things. I think that's something which is very inspiring for all of us altogether. So thank you once again for sharing your vast experience, your ocean of knowledge with all our viewers. And I hope in the near future, when sir comes out with his dedicated courses, I'll be able to once again maybe have a conversation with you specifically in that regards and help our students once again. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.